Today, I want to take you on a journey to uncover the treasures that lie beneath our feet. As we walk across the earth, we often fail to recognize the abundance hidden beneath its surface, waiting to be discovered. These treasures come in various forms: natural resources, biodiversity, and even the very earth itself that sustains us. But the question arises, what does it truly mean to find treasure in the earth, and how can we, as stewards of this planet, protect and cherish it? The earth's natural resources are undoubtedly some of the most valuable treasures our planet holds. These resources, including minerals, fossil fuels, and metals, have been the foundation upon which human civilization has been built. From the beginning of the Industrial Revolution to the technological advancements of the 21st century, the materials we extract from the earth have powered progress. Gold, silver, iron, and copper have been central to everything from the creation of tools and infrastructure to the development of communication networks and transportation systems. Oil, coal, and natural gas have been the driving force behind the global economy, fueling factories, power plants, and even homes. However, it is important to recognize that these resources are not infinite. The very process of extracting these treasures requires immense energy, labor, and often causes irreversible damage to the environment. The more we deplete these resources without regard for their renewal or sustainability, the closer we come to reaching a point of no return. As we dig deeper into the Earth's crust to access oil and minerals, or clear vast expanses of forest to harvest resources, we are often left with the irreversible consequences of our actions. Our quest for gold, diamonds, and other valuable minerals often leads to environmental degradation, deforestation, and the destruction of entire equality. While some countries and corporations have access to the wealth buried beneath the earth, others suffer from the environmental and social consequences of resource depletion. Communities living near resource extraction sites often face significant health risks, loss of livelihoods, and social displacement, all in the name of progress and economic growth. Furthermore, as the demand for these resources increases, we are seeing the exploitation of regions that are rich in natural assets, often without the proper safeguards in place to ensure that the benefits are shared equitably or that the land and people's rights are protected. As we continue to rely on these treasures, we must ask ourselves how we can shift from a model of consumption to one of sustainability. Is it possible to reduce our dependence on finite resources and instead focus on renewable alternatives? Can we find ways to extract what we need without devastating the environment in the process? And most importantly, how do we ensure that the wealth extracted from the earth benefits everyone, not just a privileged few? In exploring the treasure of natural resources, we must be mindful of the balance between extracting wealth and maintaining the health of our planet. It's clear that these resources are treasures that have contributed significantly to human development. But to truly appreciate their value, we must also recognize the responsibility that comes with them. Responsibility to ensure that we are not simply taking but also giving back and leaving a sustainable legacy for future generations. The earth's natural resources are treasures in every sense, but they must be treated with respect and used wisely, for they are the key to our past, present, and future. When we talk about treasure, we often think of tangible, material wealth. Gold, silver, precious stones. However, One of the Earth's most valuable and yet often overlooked treasures is its biodiversity, the richness and variety of life forms that inhabit this planet. From the smallest microorganisms in the soil to the largest mammals in the oceans, are not only a source of awe and wonder, but also an essential component of life itself. Biodiversity encompasses the diversity of species, genes, and ecosystems, all of which contribute to the balance and functionality of our planet's life support system. Each species, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, plays a vital role in maintaining the stability of ecosystems. Bees, for example, are often considered pests or a nuisance by some, but their role in pollination is critical to the production of the food we eat. Without pollinators, much of the food supply we rely on would collapse. Similarly, forests, which are home to an astonishing array of plant and animal species, serve as carbon sinks, absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and helping mitigate climate change. The interconnectedness of species within ecosystems creates a delicate balance that, when disturbed, can have ripple effects across the entire system. Biodiversity also holds immense value for humanity in more direct, practical ways. Many of the medicines and treatments we rely on today are derived from plants, animals, and microorganisms found in the natural world. The cancer drug Taxol, for instance, was originally extracted from the bark of the Pacific yew tree, and the venom of the cone snail has been used in pain management treatments. Scientists continue to explore nature for new compounds and substances that could lead to breakthroughs in medicine, but this treasure trove of potential is increasingly under threat. As we lose species and ecosystems at an alarming rate due to human activity, deforestation, pollution, climate change, and overexploitation, we are not only jeopardizing the intricate web of life on Earth, but also losing access to the resources that could save or improve human lives in the future. Furthermore, biodiversity contributes to the cultural, aesthetic, and spiritual well-being of humans. Indigenous communities around the world have long recognized the deep connection between biodiversity and their cultural practices, beliefs, and identities. The forests, rivers, and oceans that these communities depend on are not just sources of food and shelter. They are sacred spaces that provide meaning and purpose to their lives. The loss of biodiversity, therefore, isn't just an environmental issue, it's a human rights issue, one that affects cultural heritage and the way we understand and relate to the world around us. The preservation of biodiversity is critical not only for the survival of individual species, but for the resilience of ecosystems as a whole. A healthy, biodiverse ecosystem is more resilient to environmental stresses such as extreme weather events, disease outbreaks, and climate change. When we lose biodiversity, we weaken ecosystems and diminish their ability to provide vital services, such as clean air, fresh water, and fertile soil, services that are essential to our survival. In light of these facts, it's clear that biodiversity is an invaluable treasure, one that cannot be replicated or replaced once lost. The challenge we face is how to protect this treasure in the face of unprecedented environmental destruction. Biodiversity must be at the forefront of our conservation efforts, and the importance of preserving the myriad species that share our planet should not be underestimated. Without biodiversity, life as we know it would cease to exist. Therefore, safeguarding the Earth's biodiversity is not just an ethical responsibility, it is an existential necessity for the future of all life on this planet, including our own. Soil is often referred to as the silent engine of life on earth, and for good reason. Beneath our feet, an incredibly complex and vibrant ecosystem exists, providing the foundation for the world's food supply. Fertile soil is not just dirt, it's a treasure trove of life that sustains the plants, animals, and ultimately humans who depend on it for survival. Without healthy soil, agriculture as we know it would cease to exist, and with it, our ability to feed the global population. Yet, despite its crucial role, the soil is often taken for granted, overexploited, and mismanaged. The soil is home to a vast array of organisms, bacteria, fungi, worms, insects, and many more, that work in concert to break down organic matter, recycle nutrients, and maintain soil health. This microbial life is essential for nutrient cycling, ensuring that plants receive the minerals and elements they need to grow. The structure of soil also plays a significant role in water retention and drainage, as well as in regulating the temperature of the ground. Healthy soil can absorb and hold large amounts of water, helping to prevent flooding during heavy rainfall and drought during dry spells. Without this natural filtration system, agricultural systems would be much more vulnerable to extreme weather events, which are becoming increasingly common due to climate change. Agriculture is directly dependent on soil quality, and for thousands of years, humans have learned to cultivate the land to produce the crops that feed us. From the domestication of wheat and rice to the development of sophisticated farming techniques, humans have been able to harness the power of soil to grow the food we rely on for survival. However, with the advent of industrial agriculture, many traditional farming practices that maintain soil health have been replaced with practices that deplete the soil's natural fertility. Monocropping, the practice of growing a single crop on the same land year after year, is one such practice. This method exhausts the soil of specific nutrients, leading to lower crop yields and the need for synthetic fertilizers to replace what has been lost. While fertilizers may temporarily boost crop production, they can also lead to the degradation of soil quality over time, as they fail to support the diversity of organisms that naturally enrich the soil. Another major threat to soil health is soil erosion, which occurs when the protective layer of topsoil is removed by wind, water, or human activity. Deforestation, urbanization, and unsustainable farming practices contribute significantly to erosion, leading to the loss of the fertile topsoil that is essential for agriculture. In some regions, soil erosion has become so severe that entire ecosystems have been lost, and once productive agricultural land has turned into barren wastelands. The loss of soil also exacerbates the problem of food insecurity, as communities that rely on agriculture for their livelihood struggle to maintain crop production in the face of degrading land. Furthermore, the use of harmful pesticides and herbicides has led to the contamination of soil, harming the very organisms that are vital to its health. These chemicals kill beneficial insects and microbes, disrupting the delicate balance that is needed to maintain healthy, productive soil. In addition, overuse of water for irrigation, especially in areas where water resources are already scarce, can cause salinization, when salt builds up in the soil, rendering it infertile. Despite these challenges, there is hope for the future of soil and agriculture. Sustainable farming practices such as crop rotation, agroforestry, and the use of organic fertilizers can help restore and preserve soil health. These methods work with the natural processes of the soil to maintain its fertility, promote biodiversity, and reduce the need for synthetic chemicals. Additionally, regenerative agriculture, which focuses on rebuilding soil health through practices like composting, no-till farming, and cover cropping, has gained significant attention for its potential to restore degraded lands and combat climate change by sequestering carbon in the soil. The connection between soil and agriculture cannot be overstated. Soil is not just a resource to be exploited. It is a living, breathing system that requires care and respect. By recognizing the value of healthy soil and committing to sustainable agricultural practices, we can ensure that this hidden treasure continues to support humanity for generations to come. The concept of sustainability is one of the most vital ideas of our time. As we stand on the brink of environmental collapse caused by overconsumption, deforestation, pollution, and climate change, it has become increasingly clear that the way we have been managing the Earth's treasures is not sustainable. For centuries, humanity has extracted resources from the Earth at an ever-increasing rate, with little regard for the long-term consequences. The unsustainable use of natural resources is threatening the very systems that support life on Earth, from the destruction of biodiversity to the depletion of fossil fuels and the degradation of soil. This is why sustainability must be at the core of our collective efforts if we hope to secure a future where both humanity and nature can thrive. Sustainability at its heart is about understanding that the resources we use are finite and that we must find ways to meet our needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own. It's about creating systems and practices that support economic, social, and environmental well-being, not just for the present, but for the long term. This can be seen in the push for renewable energy sources like solar, wind, and geothermal energy, which provide power without the environmental cost of fossil fuels. By investing in these cleaner, more sustainable technologies, we reduce our dependence on oil and coal, reduce carbon emissions, and begin to lessen our environmental footprint. The same philosophy applies to agriculture, manufacturing, and even waste management, where the goal is to create systems that use resources efficiently and minimize waste. However, sustainability is not only about technological innovations, it is also about shifting mindsets and behaviors. Our consumption habits, for example, play a massive role in determining the sustainability of our society. The rise of consumer culture, where products are designed for obsolescence, has led to an enormous amount of waste. Everything from fast fashion to single-use plastics contributes to the depletion of resources and the pollution of the environment. Reducing, reusing, and recycling are all critical steps in addressing the unsustainable nature of consumption. This requires a cultural shift toward valuing quality over quantity, longevity over disposability, and mindful consumption over indulgence. Stewardship is closely tied to sustainability, but it adds another layer of responsibility. Stewardship refers to the ethical responsibility that we as individuals and communities have to protect, manage, and enhance the resources and ecosystems we depend on. It's the recognition that the Earth's treasures are not ours to take without consideration, but rather something we must care for and safeguard for future generations. The idea of stewardship can be found in many indigenous cultures around the world, where there is a deep respect for nature and the understanding that humans are merely caretakers of the earth, not its masters. In a modern context, stewardship means advocating for policies and practices that protect natural resources, ecosystems, and the communities that depend on them. This might involve lobbying for stricter environmental regulations to limit pollution, or advocating for conservation programs to protect endangered species. But stewardship also extends to everyday actions: planting trees, conserving water, reducing energy consumption, and supporting companies and organizations that prioritize environmental responsibility. It means acknowledging that everything we do has an impact on the environment and making conscious decisions that promote the health and well-being of the planet. In the business world, the concept of sustainability and stewardship is also beginning to take root. Companies are increasingly recognizing that sustainability is not just a moral imperative, but a practical one as well. Corporate responsibility, environmental sustainability, and green business practices are becoming key factors in consumer decision-making. Companies that embrace sustainable practices often find that they not only help the planet, but also improve their bottom line. For example, energy-efficient practices and waste reduction can lead to cost savings, while environmentally conscious products can attract a growing market of eco-aware consumers. At a global level, sustainability and stewardship are necessary to combat the existential threats posed by climate change. The depletion of the ozone layer, the rise in global temperatures, the melting of polar ice caps, and extreme weather events becoming more frequent and severe. All of these are the direct result of unsustainable human practices. To address these challenges, countries and international organizations must collaborate to set binding agreements and goals to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, protect ecosystems, and transition to a more sustainable global economy. Sustainability and stewardship are not abstract concepts or distant ideals. They are urgent and practical needs. They are about creating a future where the Earth's treasures are not exhausted but replenished, where future generations can continue to benefit from the natural world, and where humanity thrives in harmony with the planet. By integrating sustainability into our daily lives and embracing the principles of stewardship, we not only ensure the preservation of our resources, but also build a more equitable, healthy, and prosperous world for all. The wisdom of the earth is a concept that encompasses the deep, intricate knowledge embedded within natural processes and ecosystems. For millennia, humans have depended on the earth's rhythms, seasons, and cycles to guide their actions and decisions. From the way crops are planted and harvested, to understanding the weather and the migration patterns of animals, humans have developed an intimate relationship with the natural world. Yet, in the modern age, much of this wisdom has been forgotten or dismissed in favor of technological advancements and industrialization. The wisdom of the earth, however, remains as relevant and vital today as it was in ancient times, and it offers profound lessons that can guide us toward a more harmonious existence with the planet. One of the most fundamental pieces of wisdom the earth offers is the understanding of interconnectedness. Every element of nature, every plant, animal, microorganism, and natural resource is interconnected, and each plays a role in maintaining the balance of life. The concept of interconnectedness is a cornerstone of many indigenous cultures, where humans have traditionally seen themselves as part of the natural world rather than separate from it. The wisdom embedded in these cultures teaches us that the health of the planet is directly linked to our own well-being. For example, deforestation doesn't just affect the trees that are cut down, it impacts entire ecosystems, the animals that depend on those trees for habitat, the water cycle, and ultimately human communities that rely on the forest for food, shelter, and clean air. When we disrupt these systems, the consequences can be far-reaching, often leading to environmental crises like desertification, loss of biodiversity, and climate change. The Earth's wisdom tells us that everything is connected, and when we harm one part of the system, we risk harming the whole. Another profound piece of wisdom the Earth offers is the principle of balance. Nature has an extraordinary ability to maintain equilibrium even in the face of adversity. Ecosystems naturally regulate themselves through feedback loops where the actions of one organism or process are balanced by the actions of another. For instance, predators control the population of herbivores, preventing overgrazing and allowing vegetation to thrive. Plants and trees, through processes like photosynthesis, produce oxygen, which sustains animal life, while animals exhale carbon dioxide, which is used by plants. These balanced cycles allow ecosystems to function optimally, providing the resources necessary for all life to flourish. When humans disrupt these cycles by over-harvesting resources, polluting the air and water, or introducing invasive species, we throw off the delicate balance that the Earth has maintained for millions of years. The Earth's wisdom also teaches us the importance of resilience. Nature is remarkably resilient, constantly adapting and evolving to survive in changing conditions. Plants can grow in arid deserts, animals can adapt to extreme climates, and forests can regenerate after a fire. This resilience is not about returning to the way things were, but about adjusting and finding new ways to thrive in the face of adversity. In many ways, this resilience is a model for humanity. As we face challenges like climate change, natural disasters, and resource depletion, we can look to the Earth's resilience for inspiration. It reminds us that though we may face setbacks and obstacles, there is always the possibility of regeneration and recovery as long as we allow natural systems to heal and adapt. The Earth's wisdom also extends to the understanding of sustainability and the cyclical nature of life. In nature, nothing is wasted. Decomposing leaves and animals provide nutrients for the soil, which in turn supports the growth of new plants. Water too is part of an ongoing cycle, evaporating from the surface, forming clouds, and then returning as rain. This cyclical process is not only efficient, but is also a reflection of the Earth's inherent wisdom in ensuring that resources are continually recycled and reused. The concept of sustainability, then, is not a modern invention, but rather a core principle embedded within nature itself. By following the Earth's example and embracing more sustainable practices, we can learn to live in a way that doesn't take more than we need, but instead ensures resources are used wisely and replenished for the future. Lastly, the Earth's wisdom offers a profound lesson about patience and time. Nature operates on its own timeline, one that is often much slower and more gradual than the pace of human activity. Seasons change over months and years, landscapes evolve over centuries, and ecosystems shift over millennia. This long-term perspective reminds us that real change often takes time and that the consequences of our actions may not be immediately apparent. In our fast-paced, instant gratification society, this is a lesson we often overlook. The Earth teaches us that true progress and healing come not through quick fixes or shortcuts, but through patience, care, and a long-term commitment to working with natural processes. The wisdom of the earth is vast, encompassing principles of interconnectedness, balance, resilience, sustainability, and patience. It is a wisdom that has been passed down through generations and can still offer invaluable guidance today. If we choose to listen, the earth can teach us how to live more harmoniously with the world around us, how to respect the resources we use, and how to ensure that future generations inherit a planet that is capable of sustaining life for many years to come. This wisdom, deeply embedded in the natural world, is a treasure that we must learn to value and protect. The spiritual connection to the earth is one of the most profound and ancient aspects of human existence. For centuries, humans have recognized the earth not only as a source of physical sustenance, but as a sacred and spiritual entity that provides meaning, purpose, and a deep sense of belonging. Indigenous cultures across the world have long understood the intrinsic connection between the earth and the human spirit, seeing the planet not as something to be owned or exploited, but as a living being to be revered, respected, and cared for. This deep spiritual connection to the earth is rooted in the understanding that we are not separate from nature, but an integral part of it. Many spiritual traditions see the earth as a sacred place, imbued with divine energy and consciousness. In these belief systems, the earth is viewed as a living organism, a being with its own wisdom and energy. For example, many Native American tribes refer to the earth as Mother Earth, recognizing her as the giver of life and the ultimate nurturer. The cycles of nature, the changing seasons, the growth of plants, the ebb and flow of tides, are seen as expressions of divine forces at work, reflecting the interconnectedness of all life. Similarly, in Hinduism, the earth is personified as the goddess Bhumi, who represents fertility, nourishment, and abundance. These spiritual connections are not just symbolic, they are deeply embedded in cultural practices, rituals, and ways of living that honor the earth and the life it supports. The spiritual connection to the earth goes beyond religious or cultural practices. It also touches on a fundamental aspect of the human experience, our need for meaning and belonging. In a rapidly changing world where technology and urbanization have created a sense of disconnection from the natural world, this longing is often driven by a deep sense of loss or yearning, a recognition that something is missing from our lives when we lose touch with the land that sustains us. Spirituality in this sense is not only about belief in a higher power, but also about finding a sense of purpose and fulfillment through a deeper connection to nature. This spiritual connection can be found in the simplest moments of life: walking barefoot on the earth, feeling the warmth of the sun, or breathing in the fresh air. It can be found in the act of planting a tree or growing a garden, watching the cycles of growth and decay unfold before our eyes. It can also be found in the practice of mindfulness, when we slow down and fully immerse ourselves in the beauty and tranquility of the natural world. These experiences allow us to reconnect with our inner selves and with the earth in a way that transcends the material world. Moreover, the spiritual connection to the earth can also be a powerful source of healing. For many people, spending time in nature has been shown to reduce stress, improve mental health, and enhance overall well-being. This phenomenon, often referred to as ecotherapy or nature therapy, recognizes the therapeutic effects of immersing oneself in the natural world. Research has shown that exposure to nature can lower blood pressure, reduce anxiety, and improve mood, as well as boost cognitive function. Nature has a unique ability to soothe the mind and restore a sense of balance and harmony. helping individuals reconnect with themselves and find peace in the chaos of modern life. Furthermore, the earth has been a constant source of inspiration for artists, poets, and thinkers throughout history. Many works of art, literature, and philosophy have been inspired by the natural world, capturing the beauty, complexity, and mystery of life on earth. From the sublime landscapes of painters like Claude Monet to the lyrical verses of poets such as John Keats, the earth has provided a wellspring of creativity and expression. The spiritual connection to the earth, therefore, is not only a source of inner peace and healing, but also a source of profound artistic and intellectual inspiration. This spiritual bond with the earth also holds significant implications for environmental ethics and activism. When we view the earth as a sacred entity, we are more likely to feel a sense of responsibility toward its care and protection. This view encourages us to treat nature with reverence and respect, understanding that our actions have consequences that extend beyond our immediate needs. By cultivating a spiritual connection to the earth, we are better able to recognize the inherent value of the natural world, not just as a resource to be used, but as a living, breathing entity deserving of protection. This understanding often drives individuals to become advocates for environmental causes, working to preserve the Earth's ecosystems, fight climate change, and protect endangered species. In modern times, many spiritual movements and environmental organizations emphasize the need to restore this sacred connection with nature. Whether through meditation, prayer, or environmental activism, these efforts aim to reconnect people to the earth in a way that fosters respect, the rise of eco-spirituality. A movement that combines ecological and spiritual principles seeks to merge environmental awareness with spiritual practice, encouraging individuals to live in harmony with the earth and take responsibility for its care. Ultimately, the spiritual connection to the earth is a profound reminder that we are not isolated beings, but part of a larger web of life that transcends time and space. It teaches us that true fulfillment comes not from material accumulation or technological advancement, but from a deep, meaningful relationship with the natural world. When we embrace this connection, we are better able to understand our role as caretakers of the planet, working to preserve its beauty, diversity, and vitality for future generations. The earth is not just a resource to be exploited, it is a living, breathing entity that sustains us spiritually, emotionally, and physically. By honoring this connection, we can find purpose, healing, and peace, while also ensuring the well-being of the planet and all its inhabitants. In conclusion, the treasures found within the earth are not just physical resources, but are deeply intertwined with the spiritual, ecological, and moral fabric of life itself. From the richness of the soil that nourishes our food to the wisdom embedded in the rhythms of nature, the earth offers us countless gifts that sustain and guide us. Our responsibility, therefore, is not only to protect these treasures, but to honor the earth as a sacred entity that deserves our respect and care. By reconnecting with the earth's natural cycles, practicing sustainability, and embracing the spiritual connection it offers, we can cultivate a world where both humanity and nature can flourish in harmony. The earth is a treasure trove of life, wisdom, and spirit, and it is our duty to cherish and protect it for generations to come. Let us walk forward with reverence and stewardship, ensuring that the treasures of the earth continue to inspire, sustain, and enrich our lives.